All right, ladies and gentlemen, you already know who it is. Good Dot back again, once again. Let's go ahead and lock in. Shout out to the IPA, Passport Association, and affiliates. Good Dot's Good Books merch listed below the video. I regret to inform the foreigner community, fellow passport brethren, and all alike that unfortunately another individual has been a victim of certain types of violence in the Philippines, okay? So there was this young fellow, I believe age 34, I wanna say he was either from Australia or New Zealand, that recently lost his life in an effort to defend his wife and his family against some motorbike robbers, right? He was 34, his young lady was 31. They were visiting the Makati area. They were approached by two men. This guy tried to fight for the weapon. Weapon went off and he caught one in the chest and ultimately passed away. Now, the details and everything listed in the description area below for you guys to read the article in depth if you choose to do so. But I believe he was a father, which makes it that much more unfortunate. But, you know, it starts to raise the question again about foreigner safety in foreign countries, more specifically in a place like the Philippines. Again, we who have been to the country before, those of us who are looking to travel to the country, many of us are situationally aware, which means we are very much aware of our situations and we know how to conduct ourselves and handle ourselves accordingly. But let's be honest, man, anybody can get caught lacking. Unfortunately, anybody can get caught slipping. And I believe that if they would have just relinquished their valuables that they were looking for, I think the guys who were involved in this particular crime ended up getting away with a cell phone and a wallet. Had they just given it up, maybe this young man would still be with us today. But unfortunately, in an effort to defend his life, his wife, and the like, he unfortunately is no longer with us, right? He met his demise. A lot of people do believe that this is going to scare people from traveling to the country. I do believe that that could particularly be the effect. Those of us who have been there before, I don't think it will bother us, nor is it a concern. The police who reported did believe that this was nothing more than an isolated incident. And they planned on comparing some, bullet trajectories or the shell casings of the bullet to other crimes that happened in the city in order to get a swift, certain justice for this particular situation. You think about what happened to Deshaun Dixon. We reported on that probably not too long ago. Then we see this happening. And I'm not saying this is a trend, y'all, because I never want to say that. That is the worst term you could use. But you're starting to see how things are a little different from probably how people viewed the Philippines before, right? And it's happening. It's not, and the thing is, it's not so much race specific. I did a long time ago, and I still believe this to be true today. Don't hold my hand to the flame, but I'll say it time and time again because I believe this to be true. I do believe that, with all due respect, our Caucasian brethren are more likely to be targeted than somebody who looks like me, okay? I do believe that they are pretty much more targeted as a group than myself and my fellow brethren that look like myself. But anybody can get it, right? Let's not act like you can't go over there and something can happen, right? But then again, I have to bring back the argument that we've made time and time again. Same thing can happen to us here in the United States as well. And it'll just be another stat on a board, right? It'll just be another statistic. For myself specifically, if something happened to me at the hands of somebody who looked like me, just black on black crime, keep it pushing. That happens normally. Nobody cares. Nobody bats an eye at that, right? Heaven forbid something happens and the person who tries to cause harm to an individual that looks like myself is of another race. Oh shit. Then we start seeing the marches and shit. Right? But overseas, I do believe that it is somewhat sensationalized to an extent because it's a foreigner and bad things are happening to these foreigners in these foreign countries. I do not believe that this is a normal thing. Now, I will not say that this is something that you need to be scared of, but I will say it's something that you need to take a mental note of. All right? Again, bad things can happen to anybody, anywhere. You just have to have situational awareness. Unfortunately, I felt like this was just probably a situation where my man got caught slipping, right? Anybody could get caught, right? Somebody roll up on a motorbike and they pull a gun out on you. You got two options, fight or flight. This man chose fight, and it didn't necessarily go his way. And it's sad to see, sad to hear, but it's a part of the growing concern, but also a learning, teachable moment that I do believe that pretty much puts us that choose to travel, especially to a place like the Philippines, not necessarily on high alert, but definitely much more aware, right? You have to be much more aware. You just have to be, because things like this are happening, and I'm sure you probably hear about it more often in places like Colombia, DR, and Brazil. Probably, maybe. Don't get me wrong. I don't know the stats, but you're likely to hear about those situations happening more often in places like that than you are in Asia. But again, it can happen anywhere, and that's just what I want you guys to understand. I don't want this to deter you from traveling. I don't want you to be nervous, but I do want you to be aware, right? I want y'all to be on top of your game, right? That way you're not another statistic, because that's not fair. It's not fair to your people, and it's not fair to your loved ones and stuff. So you just got to be careful with the network you choose, who you choose to surround yourself with, because you'll have people that will look to infiltrate your personal space, find out where you live, what you have, use that against you. When you're on the street, just keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled. I don't know how you guys feel about the nightlife in any country that you go to, but you already know in the nighttime things do get a little bit more on alert, I should say. So you need to be definitely aware of that one. Even in the daytime, if you're in a high trafficked area where people could potentially pickpocket, or people could potentially have access to you or something that you're carrying that they can snatch and grab, you got to be careful with that shit. My rule of thumb for my brothers who choose to travel, I don't know if you guys do this, I do it all the time. I put my wallet in my front pocket. I never put it in my back pocket, ever. It's in my front pocket. Anything that I carry in my satchel, or if I'm carrying a carry bag, or, you know, a little fatty pack, a little foreigner fatty pack, if I'm rocking a fatty pack, very conscientious about what I put in there, definitely. I'm very conscientious about the amount of money that I do carry on me. As many of you guys know, I do have access to banks in the Philippines, so I don't have to carry much. But even if I didn't, I would be conscientious about how much I leave where I'm at, how much I have on me when I go out. So just in case somebody does, and prayerfully it never does happen, but just in case somebody does snatch up something, I'm not losing big, right? It's never happened to me yet, thank God, knock on wood, but who am I to say that it would never happen, okay? So you just have to be a little bit more situationally aware. Now more than ever, right? I said it before and I'll say it again. I don't know what the pandemic has done to the Philippines, because I haven't been back since. I'll make sure that I preface that. But I do believe that a lot of places are suffering. Countries that were suffering prior to the pandemic are probably suffering just a little bit more, in my opinion. They didn't get stimulus checks like a lot of us did here in the United States. Again, I did fall in that category. I got a couple. I won't rich like the rest of y'all who follow me, but I didn't get any PPP loans. That sucked. I was this close to getting me a loan, but anyways, another story for another day. But you just have to, going back to it, you got to understand that a lot of other countries definitely suffered a whole lot more than we did. So that's the type of mentality I go into when I'm going into this going back to the Philippines more specifically. I got to keep my eyes open. I just got to be a little bit more peeled out, because you speak American. That means your English is proper with no accents. My American speech, I'm not saying it makes you a target, but I'm not saying that it doesn't either. All right, just a little something I want you guys to marinate on. If you love this content, you already know what to do. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Y'all subscribe to the Doc's new channel, man. Might be hustling, man. Starting a new YouTube channel. Hopefully you guys check it out. I'll leave that link in the description there below. It's also on the community tab of my new YouTube channel. A couple of short videos of just talking about my life as a full-time teacher, part-time DoorDasher, and how I came to do all this stuff, man. A couple stories that follow along those lines, right? You guys should enjoy it, man. I appreciate you locking in. It's been a good Doc, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.